Hey guys, and welcome to my channel. My name is Kata, and I'm sharing some thoughts today about self-care, the importance of self-care, and how self-care is actually the key to really getting what you want in life. This is something that I'm learning on my own. I'm learning this through going through my journey and just really realizing and experiencing the fact that the more I put energy into myself, the more I'm able to really rise to any challenge and rise to anything that life throws my way. And self care wasn't something that I prioritized in my past. I didn't really know how to prioritize it. It wasn't something that came natural to me. So I really had to work on this over many, many years to get myself to a place where I can finally now recognize and really, really see the benefits of me putting energy into myself. And when it comes to self-care, like, it really is all about energy. Everything in all of life is about energy. And what I'm realizing is that where I put my attention, where I put my focus, where I dedicate or allocate energy to is really what expands and grows. And so before in the past, I know I had like a lot of really bad eating habits and different things like that. And, and that's where I was putting all my energy into, was just like eating really comfort food and whatever felt good to me, versus taking the time to actually make something, healthier. And this was something that I really used to do more in my 20s and 30s. And now I'm really at the stage where I just know that, like, I can't eat like that anymore. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't serve me. I'm just really in a place where I'm naturally choosing like foods that really feed and nurture my soul and my body. I'm naturally choosing really everything that I put on my body and in my body. I'm being significantly more conscious about what goes in, because I know what goes in yields energy, right? And so if the quality of what goes in is very, very low, then it's going to yield very low energy for me. But if I put in high quality food, high quality products on my skin and things like that, then I'm going to obviously get higher quality results. And I know this is like kind of common sense stuff, but it's pretty shocking to me how unaware we can become, including myself, and how much we can forget. That the skin, for example, absorbs 60% of whatever you're putting on it, right? So, and how our bodies absorb, everything that we put in it. And we know this, but we don't really, I think, realize and understand the impact that it can truly have. And with the new moon that we just had actually yesterday, I always love to start detoxes during new moons and full moons. Full moon is actually the best time to start a detox, because when the moon goes into uh, waning phase, it definitely is sort of decreasing in energy, which means that it's an excellent time to also purge, and because you're more supported to purge. With the moon in waxing phase, usually tends to be not the best time to start a detox. But regardless, I just feel super compelled right now. Actually, I was going to do a full 24-hour fasting yesterday, but then I think by around like 5 o'clock, 5 p.m. So I went until 5 without eating, but then by 5 p.m. I did notice that I started to get like major shakes. My blood sugar just really dropped. And if my blood sugar drops like really low, sometimes I can just like black right out. Um, it's kind of a thing I've had since I was a teenager. So just knowing that and being mindful of that, like, I really had to make sure that, okay, maybe today is just not necessarily a day when I can do a 24-hour fast. But now I'm realizing I can just gear up towards it, and definitely that way I can do my fasting and not feel like I'm going to pass out. Because it is extremely important to fast. That's, man, like, I'm really recognizing the benefits of fasting. And the more I learn about it, I do intermittent fasting right now, but the more I learn about all types of fasting and like 24-hour and 3, 4 day, 5, 7 day fasts, the more I'm realizing and understanding how much I actually need to do that, and how much I'm also used to eating all the time. I actually don't eat very much food in terms of quantity, but I tend, or I used to, I don't do it anymore, but I used to graze like a lot throughout the day, and I would just constantly look for different things, to kind of nibble on between meals. And then I'm like, why can't I lose weight? And that's exactly why. So I know snacking now is like really, really bad. And really, like, the point I'm trying to make here is that I'm learning all of these wonderful tools. Like, I'm learning all these ways, different ways of supporting myself in a significantly healthier way. And I find this new moon energy that we have right now, because the energy is very, very much present still today. I actually felt a very big shift yesterday, like big, like it was a very significant shift that I felt. And there was just this like inspiration and this motivation to really, you know, look at every aspect of my life and really get things in order and figure out where there is a lack of balance. This moon was actually, this new moon is in the sign of Libra, so it's definitely a lot to do with balance in our lives. And so it's extremely important, especially right now, because the energy is here and it's supporting us, to take a look at every area of your life, like your personal life, your relationships, your health, your career, and more. But take a look at those kind of main areas of your life and figure out where there is a lack of balance, because this new moon in Libra is going to, so we'll have a full moon in Libra 6 months from now. And this new moon in Libra is really here to awaken that within ourselves. So basically, within now and the next 6 months, there's going to be this supportive energy to really bring balance back into all areas of our lives. And I think people that aren't going to pay, like people that don't pay attention to astrology or don't necessarily understand or know what's happening, if you're not aware and you're not paying attention, then you're going to miss some opportunities to really grow yourself in a big, big way. And growing yourself always means expansion. Expansion always means abundance. Abundance means more, right? So growing ourselves and expanding what we have in our life at the current moment is what is going to be at the forefront in terms of energies for the next 6 months. And we have a ton of planets in retrograde right now too. And like, I feel with, like, especially Mercury with being in retrograde is always an indication of a time to go back over things, a time to revisit things that we have left by the wayside in the past, and just different things like that. Like, this is definitely a time to go back and review and, like I said, and get yourself organized and get yourself figured out and sorted out and figure out, like, if my health isn't good, then what can I do and what steps can I take now or moving forward from now? What kind of action steps can I take or put in place for myself? Maybe small little habits, daily routines, like I get up in the morning, maybe half an hour earlier, and you keep working towards a certain goal that you want to hit in terms of getting up at an earlier time if you don't get up specifically early. I like, for me this morning, like normally I get up at 7, but I actually am trying to work, like, that's late. I feel like it's late. I'm losing a lot of morning hour. I'm also missing the sunrise, I'm finding, so I really, really want to be up for that. So it's just like little things that I'm noticing that are important for me. So this morning I made it a thing to start my week off and getting up at 6 a.m. So I've got the alarm set for 6 for every day this week, and I'm really going to push myself to get to bed on time and then get up in the morning on time so that I can really take just fuller advantage of the day and use more hours to get things done that I need to get done. Like, by 12 o'clock I had a huge list of things done. Actually, it was pretty awesome, and it felt so productive, but like productive in a very flowing, natural kind of way. It wasn't forced. I wasn't like, oh my god, I wasn't stressing, looking at the list and figuring out like what I had to get done. I just simply kind of knew, like, there was just flow. But the very first thing that I did when I woke up this morning was I went outside and I connected with nature. I went for a nice long walk and just took some deep breaths, and I'm finding that these are the ways that I want to begin my day. And starting out, getting outside first thing in the morning, rain or shine, if it's doable, absolutely. And just doing it and not skipping it and like having the discipline. That's the other piece is discipline. I'm really recognizing how much I need to have discipline because we get soft with ourselves, we get lazy, and we get complacent, extremely complacent. And I think to break that complacency within your schedule and within your habits, the only way to do that is to really have the discipline. You're going to have to force yourself, because I have to force myself to do certain things. Like getting up this morning was actually really easy. I did get to bed though at around 10:30 last night, so that I think was great, because normally I'd get to bed at like maybe 12. So getting to bed an hour and a half earlier most certainly made it possible for me to get up at 6 this morning. I almost wanted to go back to bed around 7:30-ish. But then I made myself a smoothie, like a green smoothie, and then that kind of amped me up. It gave me energy, and then I didn't really feel the need to go back to bed. I don't feel the need to nap, actually. I'm not going to nap at all today. I'm going to avoid that just so I can get to bed on time again tonight and keep going with this routine. And the other thing I'm finding is I can break down things into like little bits. Like in my mind, if I say, you know what, we're going to try this for a week, then I'm totally on board. And I feel like I can totally do that because it's manageable. I'm giving myself like a week. And then, but already now in my mind, I'm like, okay, like we'll see how like this week goes. I'm going to do it every single day. I'm going to have the discipline and do it every single day this week. And then hopefully by the time I get to next week, I won't require as much discipline. It'll be a lot easier for me to get up at 6 because I've already been doing it for like a whole week, right? So creating habits, like creating new habits for myself and forcing myself to have the discipline to do the things that I need to do in order to feel my absolute best is just my priority now. Like I'm really realizing that it has to be my number one priority, because the more I put into myself, and the better I feel, and the more energy that I have, the more I'm able to accomplish, right? The more people I'm able to support, and the more I'm able to support my family and everything, right? So it really matters. Self-care should be our priority. And like I said, take it from someone that really was not good at self-care. Like I was very much a person who would put myself last when it came to my needs, and it is still something that I'm working on. I still have a little bit of that within me. Certain habits are a little bit harder to overcome, of course, if they're very ingrained, but I feel a lot more relaxed and I feel more flow when it comes to honoring myself and saying yes to me and saying no to others. Like there was an example yesterday, for example, my sister called and, wanted me to come by for a visit, which I agreed to. Of course, I was more than happy to go for a visit, but I knew there were certain things that I wanted to get done, and she was trying to pressure me to come a little bit earlier, so that we have obviously more time to hang out, being a Sunday night. But I just knew that there were certain things that I really, really wanted to get done that were important for me. And I also knew that she wouldn't necessarily understand why those things are important for me, because she doesn't have those same priorities as I do, right? So just recognizing that, like I really realized that I don't have to say yes to her right away just because that's what she wants, even though, sure, I'd love to hang out and whatever, but being the new moon yesterday, it was much more important for me to really spend some time with myself, to go within, to read and to say my affirmations out loud, which I did. I also took some time to, make good food and just be with myself. I really needed that time to myself. And I did that. And it really wasn't, it wasn't hard this time to say what I needed to say. Where in the past, I would have abandoned myself and my needs and what I wanted to accomplish. And I would have been like, yeah, sure, I'll come earlier. So these are the things that I think, if you start paying attention and start noticing how you will very quickly like abandon something that's important to you or something that you wanted to do for yourself, if you have a tendency to do that, try to slow down a bit and see if you can like hit the brakes on that and really stop with the people pleasing and making sure that you're pleasing yourself first and that you're taking care of yourself first. Um, and one other piece to self-care is the meditation. I've talked about meditation, excuse me, many times in my previous videos, but um, I really want to just reiterate how important it is when it comes to mental health and to mental clarity, like how much we need to be aware of our thoughts and what kind of thoughts we perpetuate. I know I have a pretty strong ego, and my ego loves to, just put a bunch of negative shit into my, whisper it into my ear all the time, and those thoughts will arise constantly. So I have to keep reminding myself that if I just like go into my meditation, or I'll count to like 10 or sometimes even 5, I'll just do like count backwards from 5 to 1, and then I like when I catch the negative thoughts, and then it just seems to dissipate, and then I'll start to bring my attention and focus on something very positive, something that I do actually want in my life. Because what I find my brain does often is bring up things that I don't want and keeps repeating those thoughts of all the things I don't want. And then it keeps you stuck in that. And then guess what I'm putting out to the universe? Like all the shit I don't want. And then I keep attracting those things into my life because that's what my thoughts are perpetually recycling. So be very mindful of what your thoughts are saying to you and how you talk to yourself. If you take some time to meditate every single day, and the I am affirmations are fucking amazing. Like they're really, really working for me. I really find they're making a huge difference. So use your I am affirmations and be very mindful of what you say I am about, or like what kind of I am affirmations you create. Because they really do have power to change your life. So yeah, those are my little tidbits this morning about self-care and the importance of self-care. The importance of self-care in the next 6 months, like I said, there will be a big, big highlight. And I think we're going to see this play out actually globally as well, because self-care in this case, I'm also talking about like food, right? Having food and taking care of yourself and making sure that you're aware of what's happening in the world and aware of, kind of like the food issues that we're having with shortages and whatnot, and start doing things now to make sure that, you do stock up on things. Like, again, take care of yourself and your family. Put energy and time into planning out, what kind of extra dry goods could we keep at home to make sure that, if some kind of shitty food crisis does happen in the winter, then at least we're okay and we have extra, right? Like what kind of steps can I take? These are all things that are part of self-care. Everything and anything that has to do with your survival, and not just survival, but has to do with you thriving, and the steps that you can take to get yourself to thrive, are going to be the hugest themes basically between now and 2023. So these are important things to pay attention to. Like I said, self-sufficiency, self-care, self-love, self-appreciation, self-worth. All of this is what is going to be highly, highly required of us to dump into ourselves as much as possible in order for us to really ride out the winter months, I think, and also energetically, and then also to actually begin thriving in 2023. So that's my message for this Libra new moon, about self-care, self-love, and what we kind of need to do. And I hope you guys found this message helpful. I will see you in the next one, and do hit a like and a subscribe on your way out if you found this video helpful. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. Take care. Bye.